Hello everybody, and with a brand new patch that is officially in Destiny for all of us to enjoy, comes a lot of stuff for us to talk about. So in this video, I wanted to talk about pulse rifles and which ones I think are awesome after the recent update. I also wanted to talk about shotguns in terms of PvE and PvP, and I want to talk about hand cannons after that little nerferino, and my thoughts on the whole heavy ammo change in PvP. So first things first, let's start by talking about pulse rifles. So I do not own Red Death. I have not been able to test Red Death because I do not own it because I don't know, the game just doesn't want to give me cool things, although it recently gave me something cool, which I will talk about in another video. But I don't have Red Death, so sadly I can't comment personally on that weapon, but it has been killing me and it has hurt me a lot. But I have used like 4 different pulse rifles. I've used Bad Juju, Oversoul Edict, Pray This Timepiece, and 123 Syzygy. I've used those ones and tested them in the Crucible just to get a little bit of a feel for them since the little buff to pulse rifles. And out of those pulse rifles that I have been using, I will say that I think Bad Juju is my favorite. I found it to be just really good. I don't know if that's just like a mental thing where it's like, oh, pulse rifles were buffed and now they feel really good. And I think that's gonna be part of it. I think that a lot of people are going to start using pulse rifles because of the little buff, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, pulse rifles are awesome, when they actually were pretty decent before. But I can honestly say that using Bad Juju, it genuinely feels like it is a little bit better than it was before. It feels like it. Now with Oversoul Edict, I always felt that that gun was really strong, and it kind of just feels the same for me. So I would say that Pray This Timepiece feels really good, and Bad Juju feels really good. Those two, in my opinion, are the ones that benefited the most out of the ones that I have personally used. They just feel like they got improved with the buff. Maybe that's just me making it up. I mean, of course, all pulse rifles got a buff. They all are going to feel better. But Bad Juju and Pray This Timepiece just felt that little bit more improved. Like, they kind of benefited more from the buff. So if you haven't taken those bad boys into the Crucible yet and felt how they feel different, I would recommend that you do. And if you have done your own little pulse rifle experimentation in the Crucible, I would be interested in knowing. So please do let me know in the comment section if you have used any pulse rifles after the buff, and which ones do you think now are super duper awesome and amazing. Now moving on to shotguns. So I actually did the Vault of Glass last night. Yes, it was last night, and all of us were using Sword Breaker. We were using a shotgun to do the Vault of Glass, and it actually did super awesome. It just knocked over the Minotaurs. Like, they just fell over. It's like you just blew on them and they were a feather and they just flew away. It was really, really, really good. So shotguns are now pretty freaking amazing in PvE, which I really like because I do enjoy being more in your face and less of like a snipey kind of person, and that is true also in PvE. So the fact that I'm now able to run up to monsters and be like boom 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 and unleash my hail of shotgun shells into them and not actually just die for taking the chance on using a shotgun is pretty awesome. I always like weapon diversity, whether it is in a story mode, whether it's in a competitive mode. I like having the availability of different weapons. For example, also in Destiny, when you have the different burn types, say if I have like a super awesome void shotgun, but I don't really have anything else that's void that's very good for my special weapons, I can go ahead and use that shotgun and not really be scared that I'm gonna die before I end up actually killing anything. So I really, really like that change. It was a good change. Now moving on to hand cannons, which apparently got nerfed. And I say apparently because I don't see it. I definitely don't feel it. I know that their range is supposed to be nerfed and they're supposed to be less accurate initially. Like when you're first shooting them, they're supposed to be less accurate. Well, one of the first games that I played when I went back into the Crucible after downloading the patch, I was standing pretty much across the map from this other person, and they were using the last word and they took me down pretty quickly. So I was like, interesting. So then I started using my own hand cannons, and I honestly can't feel a difference. I don't feel like I'm less accurate at the beginning. I don't feel like I have to be careful with my range. It just doesn't really feel like anything was particularly changed. I mean, if you guys have noticed a difference, please let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the situation that you noticed the difference, because maybe I just haven't used them enough, as I have been using a lot of pulse rifles to try and test out my favorite ones, but I just don't feel it. If you feel it, let me know. Do you feel it? Do you feel the feels? I don't know where I was going with that. It got romantic. It got really romantic for a second. But yeah, let me know in the comment section which situation you were in where you were like, oh my god, I feel a total difference with my hand cannon. I want to know, so let me know. And lastly, I want to talk about the heavy ammo change, which I initially wasn't that fond of, but then I was like, okay, this makes sense, because not only now does it make it really viable to go and just run to the enemy spawn and take their heavy, because once you take it and they kill you, they don't get any heavy. They're done. It's over. Kaput. It's done for them. But also, you can't go on just like crazy rampages with your Galahorn or your Truth. When people choose to have those insane rocket launchers that will just kill you even if you're looking in the opposite direction, that's good, because you don't want to have a match decided by someone just getting rockets. That's lame. You want it to be more about just gunplay, and I think that that's what this change is going towards. So I really do like this change. No more heavy ammo, super amazing, awesome rampages. I'm saying that wrong, rampages. Why am I being ridiculous? But it's now a lot more fair in terms of the enemy team coming back, your team coming back, and just playing and outplaying for that heavy ammo control. So overall, I really like this patch. I'm not finding any issues with it, and I'm just having a jolly good time with this patch. But there is one thing that I don't like, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with that thing to figure out what it is. It's annoying and I hate it. Okay guys, I'll speak to you later. Bye.